Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of OK Mom Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Vanessa, and I am joined here with my mama doodles, Lissa.
Mimi, Mama, Doodles, what? Just call me Lissa.
I can't call you Lissa.
Oh,
Others
yeah, that's
can.
true. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Everybody else can call me Lissa.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm good. I was almost late today to talk to you because I don't like talking to you without having, at least washed my face and look like I'm perky and peppy and here with you and not making you see the worst of me. And of course, I have to make the bed because I can't do anything until the bed is made. It's just impossible. It's a little bit compulsive, but I feel better when I know it's made.
That's an actual proven thing, though. Is that they say to make your bed every morning because it makes you feel more productive.
I just can't product unless my bed is made. New word of the day, product.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, I thought we should start with the Department of Corrections again. The Department of Corrections.
Pew, 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 pew.
Okay, trading spaces. No brainer. I could not come up with that title last week.
Nor could I.
Right. And the Canadian version was called The Decorating Challenge.
I still don't believe you. I still don't feel like that's what it was. But what do I know? You worked on it. I didn't.
Yeah. And I had a jacket with the logo on it. So when that was a big thing, remember in those days?
I do remember. It was a very comfortable jacket when I stole it.
Oh, is that what happened to it?
Actually, you know what? I think it was a zip sweater that I stole. I don't think it was a jacket. I think you had a lot of swag.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it was like a fleecy jacket with a zipper. Yeah, that was the only swag I remember getting from a show that I wore with the name.
Loud and proud.
Yeah. Nice. So anyway, that's last week's brain fart corrected. So how are you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm a little frizzled today.
Ooh.
Yeah. So on Marketplace yesterday, I found a woman who is selling a whole couch set that looks to be in really good condition. And because she's moving and it's too large for her space, she's selling it for a really decent price. And when I messaged her, someone else had already claimed it and they bowed out today because they couldn't pick it up. So guess who gets it?
Oh, congratulations. Is it? Describe it. What does it look like?
It's like a grayish couch set. It's one of those like overstuffed, almost like a soft corduroy material. Okay. The sides of it are like curled, which is what I like. I don't like the sharp corners or the armrests that are rectangular. I like soft curves. And they look pretty fluffy. We're gonna check it out and see if it's comfy cozy. I'm really excited not to have a sectional with two toddling children because now they can't push each other off of one space. They each get their own couches and I can send them to different corners when they start fighting. So
how are you going to get it to your house? You have a clown car.
I do. And my partner has a clown car. We are full of tiny vehicles. So we're going to call around, see if we can get some assistance with getting it to our place. And if not, U-Haul has an option where you can borrow a truck for an hour for $20. And the couches are so inexpensive that $20 would be nothing to pay.
Oh.
Completely worth it. I'm very excited.
Oh, sounds like you got a deal.
Mm-hmm. And I got another deal this week. I've been really killing it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know what it is. Spring has sprung, but I sent you to the depths of what? What did I say?
It's a very nice neighborhood. Very nice neighborhood. But you thought you were sending us into a murder situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I for sure I called you and I said these items are blocks away from you, very close, which being in Toronto, sometimes on Marketplace, it's hard to find things nearby. So the fact that it was close to you, we were in mutual groups with this person. And sometimes you get a weird vibe from someone, but it's just because what you're reading through text it doesn't have any tone. Yeah. So I called you and I said, are you willing to pick these things up? Because he was selling 4 outdoor items for a really good price.
Like kids items. Like
kids items. Yes.
Yeah. Little Tykes. Yeah. We're not sponsored by Little Tykes.
Just to clarify. Yeah. Cause on Marketplace, usually one of those items goes for nearly the price he was selling all 4 of the items for. So I called you and I said, can you grab one of the men of the house to come with you, because this seems too good to be true. And I requested you call me from around the corner, and you pulled in and you were like, this house is amazing.
On speakerphone.
On speakerphone,
with the windows open.
Then you left the door open, so all I heard was doo-doo, 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 instead of any of the interaction.
Right. Well, we didn't bring you with us. No. And I mean, it was like a bargain. They've been outside. Like, there's no question that they need a good hose down. Actually, it's pouring rain right now. Maybe I should just put them outside.
Take them in the yard. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to be outside here, so it's not like they need to be pristine. They're going to have children climbing all over.
Right. So I'm just bringing a whole lot of dirt from here to you.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
No, it looks like it's a good deal, very good deal for what you paid. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So if you guys are Facebook Marketplace hunters, I highly suggest this time of year, because everyone is spring cleaning and they just want it gone.
Yeah, actually, good point. I've been trying to get rid of the crib because I figure by the time we can see each other, we'll be needing twin beds, not a crib and another bed for my perfect grandchildren. And I offered it for free and it didn't go. So we're going to sell it. It'll probably sell. People, I'm sure, would be suspicious. But I thought it's a very small group. This is not, it is a subgroup of a subgroup that we only give up things that are free. And it's basically sometimes just a trade. And two people inquired, but they didn't buy it.
That makes me sad, because I remember buying that crib, and I actually like the one at your house better than the one here.
Oh, I thought I bought it.
No, I did.
Did I not buy a crib, though?
Yes, you bought the crib that's here.
Okay. So maybe I should have asked you if I could give it away first. I did. Wait, I did.
You did. Yeah.
I thought I was giving away something I already paid for.
I don't know.
I'm making money off you. This is good.
I mean, I've taken enough of your money over the years. Go for it.
Yes, I've emptied my pockets. No.
It is true, though. By the time they just keep growing, these little kids.
Yes.
So by the time we get there. However, in our household, I am holding on to the crib for as long as humanly possible. 2 babies wandering around at night. Our older one is really good at, if she wakes up, she'll just come into our room. The younger one, I think she would just start playing and never actually let us know that she's awake.
Yeah, she's stealth.
Yeah, she is, because the older one is so chatty. Half the time, the other one is doing something, and by the time we clue in, we're like, oh, right, where'd she go? What's she doing? We do care for her. She's safe and healthy. But
we're putting her through the paces of what it's like to have an elastic band in your hair. Or was it just one of those little plasticky ones?
Yeah, it's the little stretchy plasticky ones.
Uh-huh. And how was she with that?
Oh, she hated it. She's my mullet baby. She's business on the front with a little comb over, and then the back is just curly as ever. So I don't know what to do with it other than 2 little pigtails coming out from behind her ears. So I tried one near the crown of her head that it's like the straight up pony, and she hated it because she's not used to having anything on her head other than a headband.
Ah.
Yeah, because that hair pulling, you're not used to the scalp being pulled, right? Whereas the older one came out with a full head of hair. So she's had stuff in her hair since day 2, pretty much.
Yeah. And her hair, it's curly, but when you comb it out, it's like right down her back now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3-year-olds with full heads of hair, like crazy. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. But my running joke is that I earned that hair because of the amount of heartburn I had.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's not a myth. I'm sure that's fact of them having hair and making the mom sick.
Yes.
Or heartburn.
It's a thing.
Sure.
It was actually really cool when I went for my very last ultrasound before she was born. The regular ultrasound area that we would go to at the hospital was completely booked. So they actually took us into an area where they deal with like a women's space. So they do mammograms and all that kind of stuff. And they had an ultrasound machine. So the tech that I had was not a regular ultrasound tech. They're trained to like keep stony faces. They don't tell you anything. They just take their stats, let you see the baby and go. Well, this woman was like, oh, this is fun. I never get to see babies. So we were in there for like half an hour checking her out, and she actually zoomed in by her head and you could see her little hairs floating in the amniotic fluid like a little mermaid. It was so strange. Wow. Yeah. She was like, did anyone tell you your baby has a lot of hair? And I'm like, no one tells me anything at these ultrasounds. And she's like, yeah, look, it's so cool.
Oh, side note about that hospital. I was going to say the one that you had number 2 at has this really incredible sculpture in it. And it's the family from For Better or Worse. And that happens to be a cartoon that's been around a long time. And Lynn Johnson was the cartoonist, and that's where she was living. So that's sort of a tribute to her and by her in her hometown.
Very cool. I didn't know that. I was too busy.
I didn't think you'd notice. I was quite surprised. It's a beautiful new hospital. Well, maybe it's not new, but it was a beautiful hospital. Mm-hmm. Number one, I just remember a little small fridge with woods on it and thinking that was really funny.
Oh, because it was for the stuff that we could use?
Yes.
Are you panicking because you just gave away my last name?
Yes.
That's fine. It's not hard to find him.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh, wow. Shut up. Okay. So, speaking of hair, there's a whole area of hair that I don't know. Every mother should be telling their child about it, but nobody does. Yeah, it's thinning and losing hair at a certain age. You spend your whole life trying to get rid of it all over your body, and then your eyebrow starts to do this really weird thing. Yeah, eyebrow.
Okay. Okay.
And it's not evenly both eyebrows at a certain section is thinning. It's just one. And it's only one little corner, and there's hardly any hair left. But the ones that are coming in are like really long and straight unless I clip them. And I've never had to cut eyebrow hair before. It's really, really weird. So I was actually thinking that I could invent like a comb over for eyebrows. I thought that would be really helpful for women whose brows are thinning.
They have that.
Oh.
They have little eyebrow wigs that you can glue on for people who lose them from radiation and things.
Oh, wow.
Treatments, yeah, they have them so that women can feel confident and men can feel confident. Do you want me to pick you up some? I can send them to you.
No, I'm just gonna have bangs forever now.
Okay. Maybe we let other people cut them, but I support it. You look good with bangs when other people cut them.
Yeah, there's a lot of talents that elude me. Yes, thanks for pointing out all my flaws. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I got more. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks.
So I have been cutting my eyebrow hairs since teenagehood because in the earlier 2000s, the eyebrow trend was very skinny. So I used to have to do that, but mine stick straight out. They don't go up, they don't go over, they stick straight out. So I've been trimming mine weekly for as long as I can remember.
How is it that I did not know that about you?
Well, it's not really something I've shared before, but you can tell if you like, usually on a Saturday, if you look at my eyebrows, because Sunday night is the primp and pamper.
Oh, there's a day for that or a night for that? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I have to. Otherwise, it goes by the wayside. So we
Oh.
do like the full, that's when the nails get redone. That's when the eyebrows get done. Full face stuff, all the lotions and potions.
Wow, I'm impressed. I mean, I don't like doing any of that stuff on myself. Like I'm really missing being able to go somewhere and getting, cleaned up and waxed and all that stuff on my face. And not that part of the eyebrow. But I really miss it because I'm really bad at that self-grooming thing.
I can help you learn how to draw them in.
Oh.
Because I've also been doing that because I have white eyebrows since the dawn of time. So I have to draw mine in, otherwise I look expressionless.
Oh, right. Well, I also noticed that your grandmother doesn't have any eyebrows left at all. So it's got to be an inherited thing. So I imagine eventually I'll have zero. But I've seen people with the abrasion or whatever that's called. They tattoo it in and yeah. I just don't know what that would look like on an old lady.
Well, I think they look really nice because I know some of the places here will post pictures of people in their 60s and 70s that get them done.
Oh, well, when I get to my 60s, then I'll have to look into
it. She said smugly. But I think they do it to kind of make you feel that there is a sense of normalcy because people are interested in that at any age, right? It's not just young spry chickens that are interested in their appearance. My only thing with when that was really popular, because I know a lot of blondes who were all about it, and I've always been really nervous because with any trend, I get hesitant about what that's going to look like 10, 20 years from now. Before that trend was popular, there was a YouTuber that I was watching, and she was part of the Shaytards family. You have probably no idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, her name is Kaylee. And she had it done when she was younger, I think about 5 years prior, and it turned like a purpley blue. So she had to get them redone. And I don't know if that's just what they were using before it became a trend or things like that. But everyone I know who's had it done in recent years still looks really good and it looks really fresh. You do need to get it touched up. But when my friends have had it done, they said that, it doesn't hurt. Granted, they all have tattoos, so they're used to it.
Well, and I do have a tattoo, but I still don't think I want to do my eyebrows. Yeah.
And you got your tattoo on one of the most painful places to get a tattoo.
Who knew, right? Until it happened. Yeah, the top of the foot where there's no meat. It was like, why are you drilling into my bones? My foot bones are hurting. Yeah, it was painful. Yeah, it's a place that doesn't go too flabby or weird after you hit your senior citizen years. Like, I can't imagine what a tramp stamp looks like on an 80-year-old body. Because, I mean, things hang and fold and do weird things and crepey and all. Yeah.
Well, that's my fun story about my dad is that when I was 16, I told him I wanted to get a butterfly tattoo because butterflies in Greek are named Vanessa. And he said, first of all, if you're ever in a coma and you come out of it and you forget your name, you're not going to look at your back and be like, oh, that's it. And he's like, and secondly, by the time you're older, it's going to look like a seagull. You're not getting a butterfly tattoo. He was very much against tattoos.
Seagull. Albatross.
Like just droopy. But I have seen elderly people with some really sweet tattoos, and they don't look like droopy or stretched out or awful. I think it all depends on the person and what they get, right?
Yes. And I know people with multiple, like, full body tattoos, and women and men, and it can be so beautiful and it can be so not.
It's true. It all depends on where you go, what you get. I have a friend who has this really beautiful, I think it's a peacock if I'm remembering correctly. It's incredible. The colors were wonderful. looks amazing. It's one of my favorites. I just have 2 little black tattoos that I don't regret. I still like them, but I would love to have like a big giant tattoo one day, but I don't think I have the balls for it.
You don't, because you weren't born with any.
No, unfortunate, but it is what it is. They're also very expensive. You have to be really committed to get a big tattoo because of how expensive they are.
Yes. Yeah. I remember my dad saying that if I ever got a tattoo that he would totally disown me. I thought, but you kind of did anyway. So I thought, what the heck? I'm getting a tattoo.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and you and your husband have matching ones, which is really adorable.
Well, he designed it. It's something that he did on paper, and he has it on his forearm. Yeah.
Nope.
And bicep?
I don't know.
Yeah, not quite up too high on his shoulder. It's still down on his arm. Anyway, and it's a very simple line drawing. It's very sweet. It reminds me of a lot of things looking down. You know, it's very humbling to see it. I don't know if I'd want to actually tattoo eyebrows. Like they'd have to like color, or even your coloring changes, you know, in your face over the years. And I just don't know if I want to make that kind of a commitment.
Well, I think the key would be to start with a good quality pencil and practice with that, and then just continue on with that.
I have never been able to do eyebrows.
I will teach you. It's so simple.
Is there something flapping around in the background?
Yeah, I'm playing with a pen. I'm fidgeting.
Oh, good.
I told you I'm frizzled. I'm fidgety today.
But you, when you say frizzled, I thought you were having a hard time, but you've had so many good things happen. Like if this couch thing works out. Yeah,
it's the mom brain with so many tabs open.
Okay.
It's because I know the amount of work that I have to get done today to be prepared for tomorrow. And I've also added in a YouTube channel on top of everything else. So I'm distracted by that and thinking about that. I'm distracted about the couch and trying to coordinate that. Do you ever get that where you like your brain just feels like it's being stretched so thin?
Yep.
And you're trying so hard to be present? Because I really enjoy doing these with you. I enjoy our time together. I enjoy the feedback from everybody, especially when they tell us we were screaming what the name of the show was and you guys never got it.
Can't you hear us?
All of these things I really, really love and I really love doing. So I want so badly to be able to just shrink my brain back down and just be in the moment for whatever task it is that I'm doing. But I feel like I don't know. It's definitely worsened during the pandemic. Because there's this like shadow over you feeling like you should be doing more, but you can't do more.
I would say that the pandemic is a tab that remains open all the time. You're not getting relief from it unless, you know, you're sleeping, basically, because it's around you, even though it doesn't have to be in your conscience, in your face. We're living with it all the time. I would say for me, I have permanent open tabs because I'm a worrier and I panic if I'm not worried. So I have to make sure there's something open at some point.
Hold on. You do that too? I thought that was just like a me thing.
No. Oh, I thought everybody was like that. No?
No, like when you don't have something to worry about, that you feel like you're forgetting to worry about something.
And it's taken me up until, I would say, last week to actually recognize that I don't have to worry about everything all the time. But my mom, your grandmother, is an open tab that doesn't shut off ever. And it's the one that induces so much stress and inside me, like internal turmoil, because I can't make it better. Like I can make it a little better, but I can't take away what she's going through and fix it. It's one of those, that one is the heavy tab. It's the one that sits on my shoulders. And work, I love being busy with work because it does shut out some of the tabs. But when work is several tabs open, it just gets really overcrowded. And I tend to get very, distracted and, you know, I wanted to say ADD, but I don't know if I'm technically that, but I feel that way when it's too much and I shut down. Yeah.
See, I hesitate to talk about work because my boss listens to these and also frequently gives us feedback.
Oh, yes.
So
my
I
husband or
have to be,
stepdad.
yeah, I have to
Yes.
be careful of the words that I say. However, there's so many aspects to it that there's times where he will ask me a question and then I realize I have not checked on this answer in too long. And now I have to like rush to make sure everything's good. And there's a lot that goes into it of something that I thought would be a very simple day job.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like that's always got 20 different tabs. Like I have an entire planner just dedicated to my day job to make sure that I have like notes galore to make sure that I'm going through. I mean, everyone goes through this, I'm sure. But
No, wait,
because
wait.
my boss,
How many people have day jobs with their own planner, but have like 4 jobs plus raising 2 small children at the same time? Like you are an overachieving ne'er-do-well, as I've called you before. And I don't know how you can work with different planners. Like I would find just even a planner, more than one, like just overwhelming. That would be another tab open.
but that's it. The thing is that planners are really something that I enjoy. And that's actually something that I'm trying to incorporate into this new YouTube channel of showcasing how I utilize my planners, not my work one, because that contains sensitive information, but my regular day one of uploads for certain things, as well as orders and things like that. Like I don't think of it as a job when I think of Etsy or YouTube or anything like that. I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's my small business, but it feels so small because of what I'm making. It's not anything that is super unique or that people couldn't make at home. People purchase my items as a convenience. So I know everyone is fully capable of buying envelopes. It sounds weird out of context.
Hi, can I sell you an envelope? Here.
you want to buy an envelope for $1? But it is actually one of the better deals on Etsy. There's a lot of shop owners who are now using my deals and trying to recreate what I've been creating. However, it still doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like something that I do.
Like a hobby.
That I get some money for, which is nice.
Yeah, I have none of those.
No hobbies?
I have no hobbies. I have 0 hobbies. It's been like, it is something that I want to actually put some time into.
But you've been reading more. When you went to your second home, you read quite a bit.
Yeah, but that's me. I'll power read as much as I can. I'll absorb as much as I can, and then I don't read for, well, there was this like 16-year stretch, but I was on the computer, so there was reading. It just wasn't fiction, which I love.
I don't know, because I have a Kindle, I have a computer, I have a phone. Nothing beats a book in your hand that you can physically pick up, put down, feel the paper. I'm such a book nerd that I love my Kindle. I think it's great for when I'm out and about and need to read something. So the whole reason the Kindles came about was because I was reading 50 Shades of Grey back in the day when it was very popular. And I did not want to advertise that I was reading 50 Shades of Grey on a bus or in public. So they are pretty useful for when you're reading, what do the old guys call it? Smut?
The old guys?
The old guys?
Yeah. Porn.
No.
It is. That's total
it's
porn.
Not. No. Yeah. It's in a book. It's different.
It's not a romance.
I don't think 50 Shades. That wasn't very romantic. It was also not my favorite written story. However.
But then I went on to read the whole series, so I love it now.
Okay, but that's a character flaw that I have. That when they made me, they put that in there, and I hate it. So if I start something that is imaginative, I have to finish it, and I hate it. I can't stand it.
What do you mean? Like just reading a book?
Yes.
Oh,
Like if I finish, and even if I do not enjoy one of a series, I have to read the other ones to figure out how it ends.
mm,
Even if I hated it, it's the worst.
mm-hmm.
I hate that about my character.
Your
Doesn't
character would be played by, let me think. Who would be you in a movie? Amy Schumer.
mhm.
You look like her. You look like her. You talk like her. You cough
We
like
have
her.
our humor's a little different, but
Yeah, yours
the
isn't as. Yeah.
sarcastic level is pretty similar.
Hmm.
She has a lot more guts than I do of things she would say to a person's face. I just think it and then laugh about it later.
Right. And she probably has to read a whole book too.
I hope so. I do hope she does. I hope we have that in common. I envy the people who can pick up a book, read 10 pages, and go, that ain't it, and put it down and never think of it again. There are times where I'll be laying in bed and I'll picture the cover, I'll remember vague things about the storyline, and then I'll think, oh, I never finished that. And then it's gone forever because I don't have the book anymore.
Interesting. Have you ever had a recurring dream?
Have I had a recurring dream? I have.
You want to tell me about it?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. No, don't tell me about it then. I've just been having this. It seems like it's one of those situations where you believe it's real, and you wake up and you think, oh, did that really happen? Because when I quit smoking, I dreamt about smoking for 15 years.
Really?
So, yes. So in my state of sleeping, I would feel so horrible because I broke down and had a cigarette. And then I'd wake up and I'd forget the dream. I just didn't know. But it started happening over and over again to the point where I thought I was going out and smoking when I wasn't actually smoking at all. And then one day, it was like 15 years of it. And I thought, oh, I can't believe I've cheated all these years. And I realized I never cheated once. I've never had a cigarette since I quit. I never relapsed. It was all a dream, but it was a recurring enough dream that I believed it was almost in my waking hours, that it was a part of my feelings about feeling bad. So weird. So this recent one, I don't know how long I've been having the dream, but it's like I've had this whole other world happening that I believed was real. And it's like, oh yeah, this is me. And it wasn't. It's like it's like an alternative universe or something.
You know what? Because I know you don't technically believe in any of these things, but they do say that if you have recurring dreams or a storyline that picks up the next night when you go to sleep or all of these things, then it could be an alternate timeline. There's also theories that in one dimension, because there's people who believe in multiple dimensions or universes or things like that.
Occurring at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That if you die in one when you weren't supposed to, like a freak accident or something, this, that, and the other, that you actually hop into a different timeline. And there's people who have some like really interesting stories about this. I don't know whether it's true or false. I can't say I've experienced it myself, but I have seen, especially on TikTok, I've seen a lot of videos where people are talking about how they heard like a loud noise, turned around, saw a loud light, like a car was coming for them. And then they like blinked and they were across the road and just carried on as usual. So that would be that in one timeline they actually did get hit by a car and then they like cut universes or something. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how that would be explained.
Well, yeah. Well, okay, because we do see each other like a billionth of a second after we are actually occurring, and on Skype even worse. But But that's science. That's, above my pay grade. But you sound like you're talking about the plot of a movie when you talk like that. Because like Sideways, like everybody talks about their Sideways moment, like when that moment when you made a decision to do one thing rather than another, and what your life would be like, had you made a different decision.
The different crossroads. But there are people who theorize that every time you make one of those altering decisions, another version of you made the opposite decision and therefore is now living a different life than what you're experiencing. It's so I'm
somewhere smoking then.
Many times. You could be somewhere smoking.
Still smoking. Oh my gosh. Because it's been over 20 years, right?
So my recurring dream is a little different. It doesn't require smoking. However, it takes place at the home that I grew up in Wingham, Ontario. Everything's the same apart from the fact that there is a river that went through like the bottom of the backyards, and it went through the town and everything. And instead of being overgrown wooded area that it is in reality, it's all cut down. So there's bushes and shrubs, but you're able to see from one side of the river to the other. You can see clear to my dad's house. In the dream, he is running like faster than I've never seen this man run when he was alive. And he's booking it down the backyard, holding something in his hand, screaming, "You forgot this, you forgot this." My childhood dog is like jumping joyfully behind him, like enjoying the fact that they're running, and doesn't understand any kind of urgency, is just having the time of his life, jumping and running behind him. And then he gets to the river and I'm standing on the other side of the river and I can't see what's in his hand and I can't get across to reach it or to reach him. In my dream, I've tried 1,000,001 ways to get to the house, but anytime I've made it across the river, he's already gone. So if I swim across, I stand up and no one's there. There was an overpass or a bridge by that side of the river. If I cross the bridge and cut across the backyards, he's gone. No one's there. And the house is completely empty. And what's even stranger about this is that anytime I have had a dream about my dad, I've called my sister, explained the dream, and that very night she has had something similar. A different setting, a different message, a different anything. Like the dreams aren't parallel. We're not having the same dreams, but it's the same thing. Like she turns around and he's gone, or she says something to him and can't figure out what he's trying to say. We've had so many conversations about this because it's been 10 years and they don't happen frequently, but anytime they do happen, and I've said, I had a dream about dad last night, she'll call me and be like, hey, me too. So it's very strange. I just want to know what's in his hand. I just want to know what I'm forgetting. You're like, what is it? Is it a will? Is it like, is it something that would matter now? I don't know.
Interesting. I don't usually remember people in my dreams.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I remember settings. Like I remember almost all of them. Well, one of them seems to always occur also in Wingham, which is weird, but it's all house stuff. It's like what the building is and where the rooms are. And, then it's like you have to find your way to that house. And then it's always in a state of renovation, which is always, totally my life. But,
Yeah.
So that to me never seemed unusual. But I can always picture this one house that's on a lake, but it looks like LA. It's like someplace in Malibu or something, maybe. I mean, California, not LA. It's weird. It's very weird because I dream in rooms. I don't dream in people.
Weird.
Yeah.
See,
yeah,
I
think so.
I also do this thing called lucid dreaming. I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but it's when you're able to manipulate your dream if you don't like the direction that it's heading. So if I'm having a dream that I don't enjoy, in my dream, I can say this isn't real and I can switch it to something that I would enjoy experiencing. I'm also able to manipulate what the dream is about. So if someone that I don't want to be in my dream is there, then I can be like, no, 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 you're not here. Now we're going to be at a beach and I'm with this person and that person. So it's always really interesting because any dreams that stick with me are dreams that I have not been lucid dreaming through. Like the ones that I remember are ones that I wasn't in control of the dream. The ones that I forget are the storylines that I tell myself. And when I settle down to go to sleep, I choose what I want to dream about to be able to fall asleep.
What?
Yeah.
I try to control your dreams?
Yeah, 100%.
And it works?
It's very strange. I don't know that I've met anyone that has that same experience. But when I fall asleep, I'm like, okay, what do we want to do tonight? Do we want to be watching a movie outside in a drive-through? Who do I want to be beside? What movie do I want? Like, I can run through all of these things and I pick something very calming and that's how I fall asleep.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's to quiet all the tabs. I think because otherwise I'll only focus on those. So I have to pick almost like picking a movie to fall asleep to.
Okay. That's your wine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Now I understand.
It's all clicking.
Close that tab. Glug, glug, glug. No.
I find I could talk about dreams forever. I find that all very interesting. I find the fact that everyone experiences dreams differently also very interesting because correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you dream in black and white?
I dreamt in color when I was on a nicotine patch. Vivid color. But yes, I sometimes have colorful dreams, but most of the time, no. I believe it's all black and white.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it was like hallucinating with that stuff on because it was nicotine pumping into your system 24/7. So all the things that make you jittery or awake and hyper vigilant, that was happening in dreams. And they were colorful and busy and just, it was really strange. Really.
So you were on acid, basically.
Maybe when I was sleeping, but not when I was awake. I mean, I functioned when I was awake and still had the patch. But I think it was because the first patch I went on was actually more nicotine than I would be smoking. Because you're supposed to, at that time, I don't know, this is 20 years ago. I don't know how it works now. I don't know what these young people do. But it was intense at the beginning. There was a lot of nicotine. And then you wore that patch for 3 weeks. You switched them out every day, but that size. And then you went down to a smaller one. And by the last one, that was a bad week. I just threw it off my arm and said, that's it. I'm not smoking anymore. I can't handle it. Anyway, I remember that week because it was almost like nothing. So it just made sense not to smoke anymore or wear the patch. But the first patch, that was intense.
I guess that makes sense because they don't really know what someone's starting at in that version of quitting. You could have someone that smokes once a week saying they want to quit, or you could have someone that smokes 2 packs a day.
Okay, wait a minute. There's no such thing as a person who smokes once a week who needs to quit because they're not a smoker. If you can smoke once a week, it's a hobby. And then, of course, there's those of us who have obsessive personalities where if we do something, we do it all the way. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to smoke, I'm going to smoke a pack a day. And it's either smoke or no smoke. I can't just show up at a party or go to the bar and have a cigarette and then not. Although in my dream, I can.
You're so talented in your dreams. So much self-control.
Exactly. And then feel so bad that I started smoking again when I didn't. How much guilt over 15 years was I feeling for something that wasn't even real?
That's so strange. Did you not wake up and like smell your clothes?
It did. When I woke up, the dream was gone. There was just remnants, right? So I just had the residual guilt, but not the vision.
So you didn't know why you felt guilty?
Nope.
Ooh, don't like that.
Nope. It took 15 years to unravel that little mystery.
Oh, my goodness. See, and had you been in therapy? I don't know.
Was I in therapy then? No. No, I did my therapy young. Was so good at it that I should have gone back many, many times since, but return visits. But no, I cope on my own now.
That's hard. That's a hard thing to do.
Well, interesting, because I remember seeing somebody when I was in college, he was actually a full-on psychiatrist, and it was offered through the school as, no fee. I remember thinking, I'm going to be one of those people who shows up at a party and says, well, my analyst says, and just so pretentious. But it was actually helpful. And I remember it was started by anxiety, and I went to the school doctor, the university doctor, for free. I don't know why I'm adding that. And he said, this is something that you will probably outgrow when you're 30. And I'm like, why would I outgrow anxiety at 30? And he said, because at 30, generally, your life has settled. And all these unanswered questions or things that stir you up and make you anxious will no longer be there. And I thought, this is pretty intense. I think it's here for life. It's uncomfortable, and I think I just have to learn to cope with it. And he said, no, you can learn to deal with it. And I'm like, okay, deal, cope. What's the difference? And then I thought, yeah, coping, you're just sort of putting up with it. Deal with it is solving it, like a mystery.
So it did.
So it was like, as Jay would say, automatically at 30, I instantly calmed down. No, it was in my 30s that I felt like I could handle life better.
Okay, so that's coming for me, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Is that one day I will handle life better.
Well, I think you put a lot on your plate, and I think having two small people and feeling the weight of that responsibility is huge. And then add work on top of that, and ambition, and just wanting to improve, and all those things that happen when you're at a certain age. They start calming down because your children are a little more settled. You'll always worry about your kids. It's just DNA.
Yeah.
It's like mama bear. Sorry, you're always a mama bear. The intensity just sort of starts to wane a bit because you don't have to work so hard at it. And then usually people, even in your 30s, like in those days, you went to one job and you did it and you advanced or you didn't, but you kind of hung around the same place, got a pension. When I entered the workforce, that went away. You ended up doing a lot of contract work. There was a bit of insecurity in what the next job would be, but at that time I had been in one place for 10 years. So it actually helped me calm down.
Yeah. I think there's also merit to working outside of the home and being able to leave work at the door. I think a lot of people are now experiencing what I've been feeling for the last couple of years, which is when you have a cell phone and you're reachable at any time, people don't expect you to hold regular hours when you have access to your work 24/7. And I utilize that a lot, where there's times where 11 p.m. I'm starting my day for my day job, and I'll put in 2 or 3 hours at that time. There's other times if I wake up early and I want to, get through it, then I'll do what I can on my computer until the girls need me. So it's hard to find that separation, and it's hard to close that tab for a little bit because you're reachable at any time. And I mean, especially through Etsy, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but there's this expectation that because the messages come through your phone, and most people have their phone near them at all times, that if someone sends me a message at 10 p.m. at night, they expect a response very quickly. If you hold off until 9 a.m. the next day, that if they're in Australia, that's not their time zone, right? So there's a little bit of stress there. And I'm very much out of sight, out of mind. So when someone sends me a message, I have to respond to it. Otherwise, I may not remember that message for weeks.
Well, this is the same person who says you should learn to put your phone away and don't answer in the middle of the evenings. And what a hypocrite.
But I do now. I practice that now, and I've been trying to be better at that, where I will put it in the kitchen for dinner time. It's no phones at the table. If I'm doing bedtime routine, I'm present in that. I'm not answering the phone. And luckily, because my boss is my stepfather, who knows that I have 2 kids and has been very flexible with certain things, if he asks for something to be done right away, he knows that I'm going to try my best to get that done as soon as I can. But sometimes if I have a baby that needs a diaper change, that as soon as I can is going to have to wait 5 minutes. And he understands that and has been really respectful of that. And because that respect is there, it also makes me want to do it faster. When he says he needs something done ASAP, I'm like, okay, I'm all in on this because I respect him as a boss. I try to leave the family aspect out of it. When we're emailing, it's very professional. Sometimes he'll send an emoji back and I'm like, business hours, what are you doing? We're not friends here. We are coworkers. You're my boss. I assume he also respects my work ethic and knows that I'm always going to do my best to make sure that stuff is done properly for him. I also have the millennial panic. Anytime if he sends me an email without any information surrounding it, I instantly think I'm going to get fired. There's about 3 times a week I'm like, this is it. He's going to call me and be like, nope, you're doing everything wrong. You don't know what you're doing, and I'm not paying you anymore. And I think that fear makes me hustle a lot harder and put more pressure on myself with the other stuff that I have going on. Because if this day job goes away, which any job can be threatened at any time, and you just get laid off and you don't have it anymore, my survivalist panic is start making enough that you can live comfortably off of one of the other avenues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just gotta hope it works. It happens quickly. If things go sideways, we're all in the same boat. We all, even especially self-employed people, right? You're at the mercy of, you're still at the mercy of somebody hiring you. Yeah. And no pensions. No pension. I was going to tell you that I got an interesting text yesterday from a family member who's, hi, Yvette. She said that she was talking about dieting, and she said, I listened to what you guys were talking about and wondered how you're enjoying yours. And I said, well, I don't know. And she said, well, I find the recipes are really good. I'm like, what recipes? There's this whole part of the app that's all recipes. I had no idea. So for Noomer users. Oh, no, they know. It was just me.
So you never checked all the other tabs? Didn't they give you like a tour at the very beginning?
Probably. I don't think I took it.
You just kept hitting skip, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want them messing with my brain. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, she sent me one for P.F. Chang's lettuce wrapped with chicken in it, and I've got to try that. And
hopefully your sweet potato fries will turn out a little nicer.
Oh, that was sad. Sad plate.
Sad plate. Well, in fairness, it was your very first time using your brand new state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line
air fryer,
oven, toaster,
convection
TV.
Warmer, broiler, toaster. It slices, it dices, julienne fries. Yeah, that's it. No, you can do julienne fries, but we don't have one of those little zigzaggy things. And I'm not going to sit there and do crinkle cuts by hand.
Oh, please do. That would be
4 sides.
My dream come true. That will be my new recurring dream.
Okay.
So how are things going? Checking in before we go.
Oh, Well, so Jay got the air fryer working to make French fries yesterday. And he did one with a garlicky olive oil kind of flavor, and the other one had rosemary. So I was forced, against my will, to eat a couple of French fries.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's good. But other than that, how have your plates been? Sad, happy?
Pretty sad. Lots of sad plates. I have been doing things with tortillas. And now I found out you can cut up tortillas and put them in the air fryer, and it's like Tostitos. We are not sponsored by Tostitos.
You don't have to do that after you mention any brand. Hashtag not an ad. Yeah, you can. And actually, I've seen people mix those ranch packaging. You can get ranch seasoning packets. You can actually mix that with unflavored Greek yogurt, and it tastes almost like you're eating chips and dip.
Okay.
But a lot healthier. I don't know that it's a lot, but kind of healthier.
Well, and I mean, the my first fail was the sweet potato wedges, and they were darkened, blackened, as you might call it if you were Cajun. So I thought, are they edible? It still smelled good. Like, it didn't smell all burnedy, and they were actually really tasty. I was surprised. And last night, Daniel made pierogies in it.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah. Now, he did take them out rather quickly, and one kind of exploded on his arm, but...
Ouch. Poor kid.
Cheese and potato everywhere. Yeah, but they looked really good, and I did not indulge, so... And he ate most of the leftover French fries, too, so he had an air-fried dinner.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love ours. We use it all the time.
Yep. If you've got recipes that you've worked with an air fryer and you're really happy, send them to us.
Yes, please.
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. What's our Instagram handle?
Our Instagram is OK Mom Podcast, all one word, on Instagram.
And Facebook.
What else do we have? Facebook, it's OKAY, Mom Podcast. And you can just search that in your Facebook search. We also have a website, which is okmompodcast.fireside.fm, with a blog that's never been used.
Yeah, you guys show me how to use that.
Yeah. And if you guys want to support us, we have a Buy Me a Coffee link in our link tree. That's in the bio of all of our social medias. We're also, if you want to catch the episodes on YouTube, we're on there. We're everywhere.
That's just our voices, though, not what we look like. Right?
No, I would never do that to anybody.
Okay.
No one wants to see this.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going through a Folinari pink Pinot Grigio phase, just in case somebody's wondering what, kind of wine would be good right now. It's sort of a rosé, but it's not super sweet. It's got a nice dry crispness. It's an Italian. There is also a Pinot Grigio, so don't get them mixed up. You'll see the color is a little bit more corally, a little bit more pink.
Nice. If you're looking for a really sugary alternative, I have noticed at the LCBO that the Berry Blast that tastes like an old, do you remember the Rocket popsicles? It's red, white, and blue. Tastes exactly like that. It's by Smirnoff. You can buy it by the can.
Not doing that. Okay. So
and you don't have to do that, but people who have a sweeter palate like me who want to drink their sugar might enjoy it.
Sure.
It's one of my favorite parts of spring, summer is when they bring that back. There was an old Jack Daniels used to do a watermelon cooler that was really delicious as well.
Look at us shilling. Oh, okay. So I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I hope everything works out and you enjoy your regimen of getting your nails and your 1.5 eyebrows done. Because when you're my age, you're going to have 1.5 eyebrows. And I'll, by then, have a recipe for a real comb over rather than a tattoo.
A real comb over. Yeah. Okay. And I'll send you some YouTube links for drawing in your eyebrows.
Okay.
So you can practice.
Perfect. Put them up on our things, our social things, so people can do the tutorials too. Okay. All right.
We hope you guys have a wonderful week as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everybody has. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's not just about us, Mom.
Well, I forget that. I told them okay, whatever. All right. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye.